In five, four, three, two, one. Hey,
Hey,
Shorties!
Shorties!
Welcome back to the Short Asian Girls podcast, where we talk about everything Asian from a 5 feet point of view.
This podcast is about music, fashion, food, chismes, and of course, just, being short.
And again, we may not be ABGs, but we sure are SAGs, and we will talk about everything and anything related to it.
Woohoo!
So, first off, let's address the elephant in the room. It has been a while,
You know,
a good
it
while.
it hasn't felt like it, but
hmm
realistically, it has been a while. But
Like for us, it probably didn't feel like way too long because if you guys aren't aware, we're like friends outside
yeah,
of doing
that's
this
true.
project. So, but yeah, it has been a while. Season one ended the beginning of last year, actually. Checked our last Instagram post. It was January 23, maybe
Mhm.
2024. No,
Yeah.
it was 2024. So it hasn't been too long in terms of like, oh, it's been like 3 years or something like that. But in terms of just at least for our timeline, it has been a while.
Yeah, especially without any content at all.
hmm
So like, the difference between not having the podcast and actually doing like those social media
Yeah.
content, it kind of got hard.
Promotions. Yeah.
It happens.
But I mean, not to like make it seem like we never worked on this anymore. We definitely did work on this still, like in the behind the scenes, like planning, contacting people, just thinking about the things that we want to do for future seasons. But we did stop filming. We did stop other things in general. But yeah. But again, like I said, we're back.
Back for season
Hopefully,
two.
again, we've said it over and over again. Hopefully, better than the last time you've seen us. And the best we can promise then at that point is that we'll get even better.
Yes, exactly. So, I mean, in any sense, AJ, what have you been up to?
So I actually have been very busy with work. Sarah knows this.
Ooh.
I'm very, very, very busy with work, but nothing to complain about. I feel like that's something that I'm at least grateful for. I'm the type of person that, while yes, I do find the importance in work life balance, I still find at least a little bit of joy knowing that I have a career and like a job that I'm busy with because I know what it's like to not have like a job in the time when everyone was wanting a job. So yeah. How about you?
I've essentially been doing the same.
Mhm.
I've been working very hard on, I guess, what I've been doing, like
Mhm.
my 8 to 5, and I guess trying to build up my own expertise in a way. I forgot the
Mhm.
word, but expertise.
Mhm.
You know, not not saying I never had time for the podcast. Again,
Mhm.
we always talk about it morning, noons, nights, late nights,
Mhm.
but it happens. Everyone goes through things where
Mhm.
you have to take a little bit of a break
Mhm.
to kind of digest what you're doing and then go in for it again. But it's
Yeah.
just been work, exploring more of LA, even though I've been born and raised here. So
Mhm.
yeah.
Also, that's another reason why we kind of had to take a stop first because it was so like physically, mentally taxing season 1 just because we created it, like pretty much like conceptualized it, worked on it, and put all the episodes out within the same time frame. So it was only like what, 6 months, 6 to 8 months from when we first talked about it jokingly, and then actually talking about creating the episodes and then putting the episodes out and then promoting it after. That was not even like a full year,
Mhm.
truly. And again, because she's based here in LA and I'm from Washington State in Seattle, so that was even more of like a sacrifice on my end at least, but you know, that little break that we had at least made it easier for us to kind of learn and like review what we did in season 1, and then we're going to be like, okay, this worked, this didn't, and now we're like ready, more ready than
Mhm.
ever at least to start
Mhm.
season 2. But apart from that, like I said, we talk all the time, whether we call, text, just updating each other about things. But yeah, that's truly what we've been up to. For in terms of planning this, we have a lot of things planned, a lot of things,
A lot and a lot of
which
exciting things too.
very, which we're not going to try to disclose a lot of them here in this episode just because we really want to just catch up with you guys and like really get to know like where each other has been, and then we'll talk about like what to expect for season 2 in another episode, so do stay tuned for that episode. But yeah, another catch up thing that I want to talk about is what are some new hobbies, if any, if you have like any
Oh
new hobbies you've
man,
tried.
I I have so many new hobbies.
Mhm.
And AJ knows this. Like, I'll pick something up and I'll be like, "Oh, look what I started doing."
Mhm.
I started baking more.
Mhm.
Something I tried doing was DJing. I'm gonna give myself until September to really, I guess,
Mhm.
do it again. But trying to learn how to DJ is
Mhm.
something that's exciting
Mhm.
because I guess I like to dip my toes into the entertainment industry,
Mhm.
and like I like to do, I sing, I dance,
Mhm.
I do marketing. I'm like, DJing. Um, I think for now those are really the only main things I've been doing. I've been
Mhm.
doing a couple smaller things, but
Mhm.
nothing too much to mention that I haven't finished phase one. But yeah, how about you? Any hobbies?
Um, I mean, a lot like Sarah knows this, and a lot of people know this too. But I write songs because I do sing and dance as well. I choreograph, so those are things that I'm still currently working on. Hopefully, this is speaking into existence. There has been a song that I've like worked on for a while, but it's never gone past just my like my own little circle. So let's see if that actually blooms into something maybe this year, maybe next year. But so yeah, I've been writing more.
And you never know, she might be my guest on the Short Asian Girl podcast.
A special
Hey,
episode.
special
No, but yeah,
episode.
I've been definitely writing more. I've actually been very musically inspired recently.
Mm,
I don't know if it's because I've been kind of going back to a lot of the songs that I loved before that I still love
mm-hmm.
today. I'm learning about a lot more new artists, or like I'm relearning how to love certain songs that I kind of low key, got tired of just because I've listened to them for so long. But yeah, so number one is like writing songs. What else? Reading. I think I've been reading a lot, which is why I think I've been writing more, because I've been reading more, a lot more words, like those little jargons and plots that maybe I've never experienced those kinds of plots, but it's giving me insight into a lot of different topics. So been reading a lot.
I totally forgot. I also started reading a lot.
Mhm.
A lot of the things I started doing too was inspired by AJ because we're always constantly on the call.
I'm just a trendsetter. What can I
Oh,
say?
put that hair back. I hope.
No, but yeah, I don't know. I always have like an on and off with reading.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't like reading. It's very dependent on like what kind of book it is. I'm like open to any genre. But also on top of reading, I've also been loving watching films and like dissecting like the little
Mm,
plots. Not just like, oh, I like it like this, or like, oh, I don't like the ending or whatever. I like thinking about it in a way where, let's say I've watched a movie for the first time, and then I'll go, ooh, so that's what happened. Then I'll rewatch it again. I'm like, so maybe I didn't really hate the character that
mm-hmm.
much or whatever. But a lot of these things are all boiling back down to like how I'm starting to write more again. But then another one is I've been working out
Okay.
more frequently. She knows this. I started this thing called like the 75-day challenge, and then there's like different versions like soft, medium, and hard. Whereas like for me, I didn't want to try to restrict myself to like a specific like soft, medium, or hard, just because again, it was still going to be very dependent on how busy I was at work, because sometimes I'm at work like all the time, like from morning to night, but trying to find balance in that. But so I've kind of just been finding the balance that works for me, and then cooking more, eating healthy, and then with working out mixed in. And then I also, what was the last thing? What can I say? Oh, I'm also getting into like taking pictures and film again. I don't know if you know this, but I have a lot of cameras. I have a lot of film cameras, not just digital cameras or like point and shoot cameras. I am a sucker for film. So taking my 35 millimeter film cameras and trying to learn and get into more, because I did take some film classes when I was in high school, in college too. So yeah, a lot of things.
Yeah, I started thinking when you're talking about the film camera, I'm like, I also started doing that, and that is also because of her. I'm very easily influenced. Like, I'll find something on like TikTok, or I'll hear something from a friend, and I'm like, I should do that. Like, I should try that. Like, if they can do it, I could do it, and if I can't, I'll ask them for help.
I think it's funny because you're not the first person that's like told me that. So in my head, I'm just like, maybe I should just be an influencer.
I
Like
mean, we're on the right path.
essentially, but I'm just like, it's too much work. Who knows?
It's not always too much work. You just gotta do
We'll see.
you.
we'll see where it goes, but yeah, we both been doing a lot of things. I mean, ever since I was a kid, at least for me anyway, I never just like doing one thing. That's why I like learning a lot of different skills, which a lot of my friends are surprised that I even know how to do. So like little things that I know how to do, they're not expecting me to do. But it's a little fun thing, little fun like trick to always pull out at a party. It's like, oh, I know how to do this, I know how to do that, but
And then what I enjoy about doing all of these new things is that it gives us inspiration
Mhm.
for anything that's upcoming, like whether it be season 2
Mhm.
or variations of social content.
Yep.
Like, you never know.
I'm getting her to do more social media, you guys.
Last year I hated, or
You
2 years
guys,
ago
we're getting it done.
when we first started
Getting the
it,
groundwork done.
I hated it. I used to love, actually I still love being behind the camera. I like
Mhm.
being the person to be like, okay, ready, set, I'll take the
Mhm.
photos, I'll post, I'll email you, I'll text you,
Mhm.
I'll call you. But when it came to putting my face on the camera, I was like, it took, I kid you not, look at you should have seen my camera roll. It was so bad. But you know what? It's okay. It happens. So you got to start learning.
I mean, you gotta start somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, I'm s- I'm still gonna get you to do more.
We'll
Just
see.
expect that. Just expect that. But yeah, apart from that, that's really the only thing we've really been doing. Living life essentially
Mm-hmm.
is what we're gonna say. We've just been busy living life because I felt like we did so much within that year. And like again, if you didn't watch season 1, or if I don't know if you're aware, but that was the year I graduated.
Mm-hmm.
So from then on until now, a lot of things have happened. I feel like I definitely have grown as a person. I feel like I've definitely grown in more into my potential, my character, and my sense of leadership, because right now, I'm not to disclose like what my job is, just because I do at least want to keep that more private. But I mean,
Mm-hmm.
if you know what I do, then you know what I do. But again, it's just for more private reasons, so it's like at least disclose like where I'm located. But yeah, I am in a more management position now. I am a store manager. So it's definitely taken a lot more of me mentally and emotionally, more than it has been physically. Physically, I already know the requirements of the position, but the mental and emotional stress that I have been in and out of, that was something that I definitely had to really grapple and learn with. But I think I'm doing a pretty good job at it, just because I was able to at least do my full-time job and then also still do the podcast and not lose that fire to create content and music. So, yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that when we took that year gap,
Mhm.
how much I was really pushing myself to do certain things
Mhm.
without giving me a break. Like I
Mhm.
definitely, and I'm pretty sure AJ can tell, is like I definitely started learning how to like, relax.
Mhm.
Cuz I used to be very uptight about doing things. I used to plan things like every weekend, every night,
Mhm.
cuz I always thought like, "Oh, this opportunity is not going to come again," or
Mhm.
whatever. But I've definitely become a little bit more lax and more like, okay, I need rest. I'm gonna stay home today.
I mean, I guess as like your friend, I'll say this in like the best way I can describe it. I can see more like direction
Yeah.
now. Not that there was like no direction
No, I
in the
definitely.
past, but it's more like I feel like the road is clearer for you now,
Hmm.
you know?
I was definitely, and I still am a little scatterbrained,
Mhm.
but there's more of like, even though it's no longer like a little zigzag, it's more like of a straight
There's like
line.
there's less bumps on the
Yeah,
road, you know?
exactly.
There's
And I feel
less
that.
hindrances. I mean,
Yeah.
and to be fair, it's never a bad thing to, have like bumps on the road, but I guess now, since the both of us have more sense of direction, more freedom
Mhm.
is, I feel like, the best way to explain it. There's more freedom for us now to explore really who we are as people, which we hope you guys get to see that here more in season 2, because I felt like in season 1 we were still more restrictive in the sense of like, yeah, we were still trying to show you who we are, but at the same time it was almost like a, because it was the start for us, we wanted to be almost too perfect.
Exactly. I
you
was gonna
know.
say I felt like even just me alone
Mhm.
wanted to make sure we did everything exactly right. And
Mhm.
I'm not saying season 1 was any kind of bad because I
Yeah.
loved it
I
because I
loved it.
learned from certain people that we interviewed. I guess I learned from the way we chit chat, the way we plan
Yeah.
things, to kind of how we do it now.
Mhm. And like this is, I guess, like a little teaser for one of the special episodes that we kind of mentioned, but I said something along the lines of you can't know what perfect is because what if today our version of our perfect is right now,
Mhm.
right? You can't really attain perfection that's meant for tomorrow when you're still meant to be living in the present, right? And that was kind of like how I'm thinking looking back how we did season 1. I think we did great. I think we
Mhm.
did such a great job at doing that because we it's not that we went into it blind, but we went through it with more passion than we had experience,
Mhm.
which was I feel like a gutsy thing, a
And
very gutsy thing to
and
do.
that's what brings up that same episode
Mhm.
I brought up is
Mhm.
like you just show up.
Mhm.
Because like a lot of the things that we used to do is like we showed up, we
Mhm.
did it,
Exactly.
whether it was good or bad, like at least we did it.
Mhm.
And then from there it's kind of like if we didn't do that we wouldn't be here today
Exactly.
filming season 2 or even talking about what we
Mhm.
can be doing in the future.
Yeah.
So I mean it plays together and I'm
But
glad.
also I feel like I told Sarah this in like a little mini teaser episode that we may or may not release out there. But it was like we had to go through season 1 the way we did, exactly how we did it,
Mhm.
just to know how we would move on. It's kind of like, you won't know good from bad if you don't know bad from good.
Mhm.
You have to experience one thing to know the other. So I'm proud of season 1 and I'm excited for where we're going to be in season 2. In the next few episodes, after this initial episode does start, you're going to get to know more about what to expect from season 2, right? We're going to delve more into what kind of content to expect from us, or also actually we're going to delve more into how we plan these episodes, just because like we promised you guys in the beginning, we really want to share to you the experiences, the process of how things go, because I feel like now there's no point in hiding like the hard work that goes into it, just because it truly is more than just sitting here in front of a camera and
Mhm.
just talking. It might look like that, but it's really not like that.
Yeah, or it's not just a yapping session where we
Mhm.
just go, okay, so what are we talking about
Yeah.
today?
Like it feels like this, but that's because we know what we're doing, you
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
I
yeah.
feel like I'm excited, very excited for where we're going to be in terms of this podcast, in terms of our careers, in terms of who we are as people, and I can't wait to look back on this moment.
I can't wait to share this moment with
Exactly.
people.
I can't wait to just be like, "Oh my god, remember that episode
Oh
when we
my
were
god.
just talking about this and then now we're like, what, how many episodes in or whatever?"
But like imagine watching this back
But
later in
you
the
know what's
future.
crazy though? We said the same exact thing in season 1. It's like imagine how many episodes we'd have and now we're saying season 2, season 2.
But that feeling's never gonna change.
I feel like no.
It's always gonna be, you're still putting yourself out there and it's like
Mhm.
you're putting yourself out there to anything, you
Yeah.
know.
No, but I'm honestly happy that we feel that way because then at least the excitement
It's still there.
is still there and it never goes away.
Yeah,
But yeah,
exactly. Yeah, but before we, I guess, get into the nitty gritty and start talking more about
the
everything,
technical
everything,
sides,
yeah.
yeah.
Um, I guess that brings us to the end of this episode.
Yeah, we don't want to delve too deep yet just because we still want you to watch more episodes. We don't want to give too much away. But yeah, I think right now is a good time to end this one
Yeah.
at a good note, at
Mm-hmm.
least.
And I'd like to thank you guys for spending your mornings, noons, nights, late nights, or whatever time zone you're listening into us today.
And of course, don't forget to follow us on our socials at Short Asian Girls Podcast on Instagram, TikTok, X, Threads, all of the social media platforms out there. And also, again, we are on all social media podcast streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Google Podcasts for like the audio version. But if you do want to go watch this video version, for those of you who aren't aware, yes, we do have the visual aspect of this podcast. It will be on YouTube, also on the handle at Short Asian Girls Podcast.
Yes, and then don't forget to use the hashtag Shorties Moment
That is hashtag SHORTIES moment.
to share your favorite moment from our podcast, whether it was season one or I guess whatever you're excited for season
Mm-hmm.
two. So yeah, you
Honestly,
never
I feel
know.
like, especially like for future episodes that maybe you'd want us to do, like topics or even guests to have,
Yeah,
things to try. There's a lot of things we have planned, but yeah.
yeah. You never know what's gonna happen. You might be on the episode, featured in the episode,
True.
talked about with an
Mm-hmm.
interview that we're doing. So yeah.
Yeah. And again, my name is AJ, your SAG host.
And I'm your SAG host, Sarah Michelle, signing off.
And then before we do say goodbye, don't forget to live your life to the fullest because just like us, life
Life
is
is
too
too
short.
short.
See you in the next episode.
Bye bye.